Board meeting of April 23rd, 2019 is now called to order. The time is 6:01. At this time, we request that all electronic devices be put in silent mode. Also, we ask that you please refrain from flash photography, except during the special presentations portion of the meeting. The agenda can also be found at the district's website, www.leeschools.net. Navigate to the Leadership tab and choose School Board. We would like to take this opportunity to remind the members of the public of the district's mission, which is to ensure that each student achieves his or her highest personal potential, and the district's vision to be a world-class school system. Prior to the start of this evening's board meeting, we have been enjoying Thespians from Veterans Park Academy for the Arts, performing Human Again from Beauty and the Beast, Jr., under the direction of Mark Stevenson. Their public performances are scheduled for May 10th and 11th at East Lee County High School. Curtain time is 7 p.m. At this time, the troupe will perform Beauty and the Beast. So don't forget, May 10th and 11th at East Lee County High School. We're going to take, oh, no, not yet, okay. We will take a brief pause at this moment to clear the performance area and, no, it's Veterans Park Academy.
Okay,
They
at
are
East Lee County High
performing
School.
at East Lee County High School.
Good, see, I have to go to the right place.
So we'll make that clear. This is, and one more round of applause for Veterans Park Academy. And now we will take a brief pause to clear the performance area. Thank you so much. Did you get pictures already? Okay, all right. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Is everyone set? Okay, we'll resume the meeting. This evening's student representative from the School Board Student Advisory Committee is Elizabeth Ortiz, a junior at Cape Coral High School. Some of the organizations that she's involved in are her school's Model UN team, the Keep Lee County Beautiful Youth Council, and the Southwest Florida Make-A-Wish Youth Council. Elizabeth also started her school's Science Olympiad team and a program to raise funds for the Make-A-Wish Foundation in high schools called Kids for Wish Kids. Currently, she is also working with the Lee County Public Library System to bring the organization Girls Who Code into our area. In the future, Elizabeth hopes to study patent law related to technology or biology. She told me her favorites were biology and history, so welcome, Elizabeth. Okay, the approval of the agenda. This evening's agenda includes the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, one recognition, public comment, consent action items, which include 2 items under Executive Services, 12 items under Academic Services, 3 items under Business Services, 2 items under Human Services, one of which is Good Cause. Dr. Atkins, please explain, give an explanation for this good cause.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item is the approval of the FY19, FY20 collective bargaining agreement with the Teachers Association of Lee County. It is important to take board action on this evening so we can put in place the provisions of this agreement
Okay.
as quickly as possible.
All right, as presiding officer, I find there is good cause to add this one item to the agenda, as well as 5 items under operations, as well as 4 items under attorney recommendations, 2 of which are good cause. Mr. Dodig, please provide, the explanation for these 2 items.
Sure. The first item is the approval of the agreement with RSMUS LLP, who have agreed to serve as the district's school board auditor under Florida law. And the second agreement is with Weiss, Sirota, Helfman, Cole, and Bierman, who have agreed to serve for 6 months as the school board attorney as I leave the district. And both of these are time-sensitive matters that need to be approved this evening.
Okay, as presiding officer, I find there is good cause to add these 2 items to the agenda, as well as 4 items under other business. Board members, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Ms. Fisher, Ms. Giovanelli. And please record your vote. And the motion passes 7-0. Ms. Jordan will deliver the invocation, after which Ms. Morgan will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for the invocation.
Almighty God, you are the creator and the sustainer. You are our light and our fortress. You are our wisdom and our strength. We ask for your guiding hand to lead us through this meeting. May we approach our tasks with wisdom, and may we approach our members with respect. May our conduct create an environment of cooperation and kindness. Thank you for helping us to accomplish our work this day. We ask these things in your powerful name. Amen.
The cadet presenting the national colors tonight will be introduced by Command Sergeant Major Michael White, Army instructor from Island Coast High School, JROTC. Command Sergeant Major White retired from the Army after 28 years of active duty service and is a combat veteran of Desert Storm. This is his first year in the Lee County School District. Thank you for your service, sir, and welcome to the Lee County School District, JROTC.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to introduce Cadet Major Logan Hayford. He has been selected to be the Gator Battalion Commander next year. Cadet Hayford has been a cadet for the last 3 years in the JRTC program. During his time, he's participated in many parades, community service projects, service learning activities, and leadership camps. He has also shown outstanding leadership in the JRTC program by participating in the following teams: Raiders, Drill, Color Guard, and the Junior Leadership Academic Bowl. Outside of JRTC, he has been involved in numerous school activities, including tennis, swimming, and cross country. He currently has a 3.9 GPA and is a highly ranked student of class 2020. He plans to earn an ROTC scholarship at the University of Kentucky and focus on equine management. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we will we'll have recognitions of the Florida High School Thespians All-State Festival, and be led by Ms. Giovanelli.
I would like to ask Dr. Douglas Santini, Executive Director of Fine Arts, to join me at the lectern. The Florida High School Thespians All-State Festival for Drama Students was held March 20th through March 23rd, 2019 in Tampa. A large delegation of approximately 154 high school thespians from 9 Lee County schools attended and earned all-state recognition awards in various areas to include large group musical, small group musical, ensemble acting, duet musical, costume construction and design, Act 1 plays, publicity design, pantomime, screenwriting, monologues, choreography, playwriting, and improvisation, and more. As I call out the school, would everyone from the school please come forward to have group pictures taken? And I'll call each school at a time, and we'll kind of move through and take pictures, and then I'll call the next school out. So the first school is Cape Coral High School.
Yeah, just
Congratulations.
thank you.
Okay, you get in the middle. You're solo, so come on. Cypress Lake High School. Okay, come. No, come back this way. No, this way. In the front.
Always want to get over this.
Yeah. There you go. Estero High School.
Again. You don't want to hide the board.
I know. Fort Myers High School.
She just has to make a presentation to
Okay.
Dr. Santini.
Go for it. Congratulations.
I hope the board will pardon this interruption. On behalf of District 6, we would like to thank Dr. Santini for all his help and support throughout the school year. We would like to present him with an honorary thespian plaque to show our gratitude for all his strides to help make our district successful. Ida S. Baker High School. Okay. Come on. Lehigh Senior High. Mariner High School. North Myers High School.
So much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And last but not least, Riverdale High School. Dr. Santini's getting his picture taken.
Honorary life membership is conferred upon Dr. Douglas Santini. For your time and support, we thank you. There we go. Perfect. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So we can get cold up here.
What did you say?
Hey, our next item is public comment.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting things. At this time, we'll take a brief recess so that those that wish to leave may do so. Thank you for coming, and congrats again.
He's 12. I know. Young.
Okay, our next section is public comment. Mr. Doty, please read the agenda item for public comment.
Sure. School board policy provides the opportunity at this point in the meeting to address the board concerning any matter on this meeting's agenda or any other matter relevant to the operation of the school district. If you completed a card and submitted it before the meeting began, you will be called in the order of the card submitted. If you did not submit a card but still wish to address the board this evening, Ms. Gittens, the board chair, will give you an opportunity in a moment to express that desire. The rules concerning public comment are posted at the back of the room. Speakers and those attending the meeting are expected to act in a respectful manner. Attacks on individuals or abusive comments are prohibited, as is booing, hissing, clapping, shouting, cursing, or disrespectful comments. Time per speaker this evening is 3 minutes. Madam Chair, I have 5 cards.
Thank you. Is there anyone on my left that has not picked up a card that would like to speak? No one? Anyone on the right? Okay, we're ready to begin.
Sarah Severson, who's also accompanying her. She's bringing some students up who are not going to speak.
That's okay.
Sure, but you only want one 3-minute slot, right? Okay.
My name is Sarah Severson. I am the art teacher at Gateway Elementary, and I brought with me 3 of my 5th grade students, and they wanted to promote the arts by creating a video. They belong to the REACH team at our school, and they had to create a video to be submitted for a contest, correct? And so they decided their topic was going to be arts and how arts impact students at our school. So they each wrote a little piece that they would like to read. And this is Ava Bobin, 5th grade student.
I know a lot of kids love doing art. We asked many kids how creating art affects their life, and they said that art makes them feel inspired and adds color to their life. It also helps them express themselves. We also asked kids how creating art makes them feel. Some kids said happy, awesome, amazing, cool, smart, and great. So everybody really has a good time making art. Finally, we asked kids about how they would feel if there were no more art or classes. One kid said, I would feel sad because I like art and I really like when we do contests. At least 90% of Gateway students really enjoy art, and I know I do.
Thank you. And I have another student. Maya's going next. Okay. This is Maya Marsh, another 5th grade student at Gateway.
I think that our film was able to help people understand why we need art and why it is such a huge part of our lives. Our film talked about how students would feel if there were no more art or music classes. Art allows us to feel creative, original, or even excited. We express ourselves with art, so if you are feeling sad or have trouble expressing yourself, you can use art to help.
And this is Natalie Grant, another 5th grade student.
Art inspires kids at all schools to express how they feel. Some kids are very shy, but art helps them open up about how they feel because they don't have to speak or even look at you, but they always know what your art pieces mean just by looking at it. I've always noticed that kids always look happier when in art class. When they're having a rough day, art is what makes most of the students at Gateway feel better. While interviewing all of the students, everyone said such positive things about art, and they said they would feel sad, discouraged, and disappointed if they didn't have art to look forward to. I don't think anyone would feel the same without art at our school.
All right. Thank you very much, girls. And we're going to have the film uploaded on YouTube, so I will get you the link for that as soon as I find out from their REACH teacher. So thank you very much for your time.
Very good, thank you.
Mina Sedaris Dagling.
Say good evening to all of you, and my name is pronounced Mina Sokaras Dagling. That's all right. I am going to speak on something that reaches my heart because I am a Cuban-American woman, and I don't know if any of you know what this month is, but it's celebrating Diversity Month. And I made a little thing, and I'm going to give it to you afterwards, on ways that we can celebrate diversity in our workplace and on our own when we're not working. And I want to just share a little bit about it. When I came from Cuba, I didn't come here. We went to Michigan. And we were in Lansing. And because of my teacher in first grade, Mrs. Marjorie Good, she made me feel like always wanting to go to school because she celebrated my culture. And even though I was the only Cuban in the school, she made everybody aware that they have to celebrate my culture. And so I want to do that with my students, and I try to do that with my students. And one of the things about diversity is it's unique. It recognizes our individual differences. It can be along the dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, physical abilities, religious beliefs, political beliefs, and other beliefs. And here are 5 ways that I was able to grasp diversity in our workplace. Well, we need to train each other about diversity and to reach out to others, be tolerant of others. We need to emphasize the importance of diversity. We need to not just keep it there, but after school is out, after your job is out, then you've got to keep it going. We need to have policies on diversity, what is right, what is wrong. And we need to celebrate. We need to have celebrations on our different diversity. And I made a list, and I'm not going to read it all. I'll give you the paper afterwards because I made copies for all of you on ways to celebrate diversity. I tried to get data. I'm a real data person. I tried to get data on the school. And one of the things I noticed, and I'm going to speak a little bit about minorities briefly, that when kids start school, if you are African American, Hispanic, and multi-ethnic, there are more kids that enter this county. But as they get to the 8th grade, they start dropping out, and the other races become more prevalent, and they graduate. And we need to encourage these students not to drop out.
Your time's up, ma'am. You're welcome.
Thank you. You can leave those with the secretary. I'll take them.
Janae Hawkins? I gotta do this. Janae,
Janae, you
you
good?
come here. It's okay. You ready? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janae Hawkins, and I wanted to speak on the shortage of student resource officers. As kids growing up in adolescence, our life is often influenced by others, especially by people with power in influential positions, such as parents, teachers, coaches, pastors, and law enforcement. Many of my peers and I have had our first real interaction with law enforcement besides what we've seen on TV at our schools with resource officers. School resource officers carry the responsibility of being a teacher, counselor, and law enforcement, which makes them a part of the student body as well. However, in order to successfully fulfill all 3 roles of an SRO efficiently, they need to build rapport with all of the students to build trust and make them comfortable to approach them with both positive and negative situations going on within the school. If that sounds like a lot of work for one person, it's because it is. We expect our SROs to build a rapport with each and every last one of the hundreds of students in our schools in Lee County and handle 2, sometimes 3 situations at one time. What happens when an SRO is in the middle of arrest and the student is in need of guidance? SROs and people of authority need to be there when kids are seeking help and to provide a safe learning environment. Myself, sister, my peers, and students that are not here who have taken their lives have experienced incidents where there have been a shortage of manpower, and we were left to figure out our issues with our young, undeveloped minds. Myself and sister were able to overcome these issues because of the support of our mom, who wears the hats to all titles representing authority. Thank you, Mom, for being there for us. Unfortunately, some of my peers didn't have that same support system we have. and now are no longer with us because a much-needed school resource officer was not available. I know that I'm too young to vote, but if I was of age, my vote would be in favor of 2 full-time student resource officers available at each school with some diversity, with whom would build a personal narrative with all of the students to trust, educate, and be our other counselors, so that we are aware and not afraid to come to them in times of our scariest moments. Also that understands that when you're taught from a strong woman, we smile instead of crying, because that's how we're taught to deal with pain. But that doesn't at all constitute a lesser emergency. That's just our cultural differences. And if I could ask for everyone to close their eyes for just 10 seconds and self-evaluate how they can make an impact on our lives with just one vote. Because it takes a village to raise a child. Thank you.
Kevin Daly.
Chair Gittens, board members, Dr. Atkins, and Mr. Dodick, I rise tonight as the president of the Teachers Association of Lee County and ask you to support the tentative agreement that was negotiated between the district and TALC. But I also rise to talk about what's next. Florida is consistently ranked in the bottom 10 of per pupil funding in the nation and in the bottom 10 of average teacher salary. This correlation cannot be ignored. We really need to find a way to make meaningful impacts and give meaningful raises to the teachers and support staff who work every day at the School District of Lee County. To that end, I'm going to start talking about a millage that has been done in Collier, Miami-Dade, Charlotte, Sarasota, and Manatee, a millage on property taxes that can be used to raise teacher and support staff pay. So tonight is the beginning of a discussion. I think we need to put this on the 2020 ballot. I don't think it can wait till 2022. The projected vacancies in classrooms across Florida in August of 2019 is over 10,000 vacant classrooms across the state. We really need to do whatever we can to coalesce support around this idea of raising money through the millage for teacher and support staff salaries, because clearly the state isn't going to do their constitutional job. Thanks.
Anthony Thomas.
Good evening. I couldn't disagree more with our union president, but they've opened Pandora's box when they approved the sales tax. So I guess more taxes, more taxes. Let me begin by saying today is a sad day in the history of Lee County. We lost the chairman of our county commission this morning. I would say to Chair Gittens at the appropriate time, probably after public comment, if you could lead the school board in a moment of silence in honor of Larry Keichner, our late chairman of the county commission. Let me say something. That young lady spoke so eloquently about the importance of school resource officers and what Lee County School District does in educating our young people. She has a bright mind and she's very articulate. I'm very proud to hear her comments. I want to talk about an issue that I brought to the attention of the superintendent regarding an SRO at Allen Park Elementary. This person's spouse was arrested. There's issues dealing with whether or not this person may have been involved with drugs. Let me remind you guys of something. Over on the East Coast, there's a lawsuit that has been filed by the students of Parkland and their family members. It's so important, I think, that a couple things with these SROs. They need to be physically fit. I'm too fat to be SRO. I'm not going to be running, doing all that other stuff. So the first thing you need to do is have physically fit people who are going to be able to respond in a situation where there's a shooter. So they need to be physically fit, they need to be age appropriate, because what we saw over in Parkland is the guy was really fat, he must have been eating some donuts or something, but he didn't go and render aid to the students. So you need to have them be of a certain age, and listen, they do this in the military, they do it with the FBI, they set criteria on how old you should be to do the performance of your job. So we've got to look into this situation, and I would love for Dr. Atkins to explain to the board what he's done. I sent an email to Dr. Atkins and to Chief Diggs saying that this officer in question should be drug tested, we should know if the person who's going to our school is under the influence in case something happened, because there's going to be a lot of liabilities if something were to befall Allen Park and the officer is under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Now, the other thing, the issue I want to talk about briefly is the decision. I think the board is going down the wrong path. You guys are going to do something that no previous school board has done. You're going to have an outside counsel. I spoke about this at the last meeting. I believe this is the wrong course of action. And then you're not going to get a professional auditor. I don't know how difficult it is simply to go look at what we had before, dust off the old board policy and reconstitute it. I think you're going to get yourself in a world of trouble by not having what they have in Palm Beach County, which is a professional auditor. Thank you very much.
All I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first of all, Ms. Severson, Ava, Maya, and Natalie, are you still here? Or did they leave? I think they left us, but thank you so much for that. I hope they have many happy days as they're doing art in their school. Nina Dagley, did I say it correctly? She's
Mina.
Nina?
Mina.
Oh, Mina. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, thank you so much, though, for reminding us about Diversity Month, and I will definitely look at the handouts that you gave us about reaching out and emphasizing diversity. We are a majority-minority district at this point, and we have to embrace who we are and becoming. I appreciate that. Janae, is it Janae or Janai? Janae Hawkins, and I don't know if you all remember her. She was one of the recipients of the Take Stock in Children scholarship last week at a luncheon we went to, and she spoke there very eloquently. Excellent information about SROs, and if you have your presentation online, perhaps you can send it to us and we can share it with others as well. Thank you so much for that. It does take a village, and I understand that your future is as a pilot. Janae actually at an event met the mayor who has a plane and flies, and she got to go up and fly with him as well. So just keep going, and good luck when you go to college as well. Kevin Daly, the Millage for Teachers, thank you for opening the conversation. And it was very interesting to hear about the 10,000 teachers statewide. That's a big number. That's something we have got to get on top of as soon as possible. I know that we had our career fair last week, and I believe we were successful in getting quite a few teachers there as well. Mr. Thomas, I will fulfill one of your requests, and that is if everyone would stand for just a moment. We'll have a moment of silence for Mr. Larry Kiker. Thank you. And thank you for reminding us of that. I think you've spoken to the superintendent or been in contact with him about the Island Park SRO situation, and I suggest you continue your conversation with him. As far as the professional auditor and the attorney that we are looking to, that we will be hiring, that both of them are going to be on a temporary, I believe, 6-month basis. No.
The attorney.
The attorney.
The auditor's agreement is for 14 months.
Is for 14 months. And the, going along with the statute that we have to fulfill that's coming up July 1st, one of the things we have to do is a audit.
A risk assessment.
Risk assessment, I'm sorry. So that's one of the first things that they're going to do. We have to start with, getting underway with some things with the auditor and with the attorney, and then we will be discussing our next steps at a workshop coming up soon as well. And I believe that is all. I have addressed everyone. As we move along in the agenda, our next section is consent action items. And I do want to mention that we started last week with a process of doing our agenda review as a group, as a board, prior to the meetings tonight. Excuse me, and the way that works is that we meet in a workshop fashion. It is recorded and it also is live, so some of the consent items, if you want to know details about them, at that agenda review, we have staff members to come and to answer any questions that we might have. And the goal and purpose of it is that when we get to the action meetings, we are ready to take action because we've gotten all of our questions answered and discussed things previously. So it should help us with our way of work to move along a little smoother. So next is the approval of action items under consent. The documentation for these items listed under the consent is made available to the board 7 business days prior to the board meeting. We are expected to review all the material. We have an opportunity to speak with the superintendent, or as I said, also as a group in a workshop, with any questions that we have regarding recommendations. Some of these items have also been briefed or workshopped with the board in advance of appearing on the action agenda. Board members, are there any agenda items you wish to pull for discussion under unfinished or tabled business in this portion of the agenda?
I have no pulls this evening.
I have none.
No, thank you.
I have none.
I have none.
And I have none.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda's consent action items?
So moved.
Okay, Ms. Vaughn, second. Ms. Fisher, please record your vote. And the motion passes 7-0. Okay. Other polls. Included in the approval of the consent items on the agenda is the resolution proclaiming May 5th through 11th, 2019 as National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. Okay. And then we have tonight some attorneys' recommendations.
Sure. First one is, I recommend approval of the resolution giving the school board attorney direction to request an attorney general opinion from the Florida Attorney General regarding the possession of firearms by off-duty certified law enforcement officers at meetings of the school board in order to develop a legally compliant school board policy.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Morgan and Ms. Jordan. Any discussion? Being no discussion, please record your vote. And the motion carries 7-0. Next is the approval of the school
Nope,
resource.
it's-
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's yours.
Next recommendation is I recommend approval of the resolution pursuant to the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, establishing that the school board supports the use of school resource officers to fulfill the requirements for safe school officers at each school, and the school board does not support the arming of teachers.
Okay, you've heard the attorney's recommendation that the board approve the resolution pursuant to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, establishing that the board supports the use of school resource officers and not arming teachers. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Fisher and Ms. Morgan. Any discussion? Yes.
I just have a comment.
Okay.
In regards to this, I received a note from a second grader regarding this issue and asking us to to vote in favor of not allowing teachers to be armed. I just wanted to share that.
That's interesting. Did you want to share it or no? Okay.
Want me to read it? I can read it.
If you want.
I can, it's a really quick, it says, "Dear presidents, you should have more police officers at schools. Why? Because if they have lockdown drills, and there's only one teacher, the kids will be left alone. That's why I think schools should have police officers at schools. All the teachers are busy teaching, and teachers should not live," what I think she means is not leave their kids alone. And then it says, "Please write back," which I did, and it sincerely, and it says her name, that she goes to school at Patriot Elementary, and she's an 8-year-old. And I just thought that came in today, and it was like, how perfect is that?
That was awesome, and thank you for reading it. And
Thank you for
Janae,
sharing.
we seem to be on a roll with SROs tonight.
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? Thank you for that. Please record your vote. And the motion passes 7-0. Mr. Dodig?
Sure. The third item tonight is one of the good cause items. I recommend approval of the master service agreement between the school board and RSMUS LLP to serve as the school board's internal audit function to comply with Section 1001.42L Florida statutes, which goes into effect on July 1st. This contract would be effective April 24th, 2019 to June 30th, 2020, that's hard to say now, for a total not to exceed an amount of $50,000.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Fisher, second. Ms. Giovanelli, any discussion on this one? No one? Okay, please record your vote. And the motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Mr. Dodig?
The fourth item, the other good cause item, is I recommend approval of the letter of engagement with Weiss, Sirota, Helfman, Cole, and Bierman as school board attorney for the School Board of Lee County, Florida, for a period of 6 months, commencing on May 1st, 2019, and ending on October 31st, 2019, with a total amount not to exceed $80,000.
Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Ms. Jordan, second. Okay, Ms. Vaughn, any discussion? And I did want to say on this, this is the temporary piece. We will be discussing as a board and coming up with a decision as to how we will move forward with the attorney situation, since Mr. Dodig will be leaving us. Okay, please record your vote. Is it? Does anyone have it up?
No.
Shall we do it? No, it's not showing up. Heard something click.
Yeah.
There it is. The motion passes 7-0. Thank you, everyone. Okay, other businesses, board member comments. Let's start with Ms. Morgan this time.
The only comment I have is to congratulate Talc and Spalk and thank management and the union for a long conversation about the contract, but I think a good contract. So I want to recognize the work that went into it and thank all who were involved.
Is that all? Okay, thank you. Ms. Jordan?
Okay.
Were you ready, or?
I'm ready.
Okay, okay.
Yes. I just wanted to report on, this was a really busy week for me. I had met 3 young men who came from Mariner Middle School who were concerned about their drinking water and created a PowerPoint presentation, and it was just phenomenal that they care about the kids that are there even though they'll be leaving. Also, I was honored to attend the Take Stock in Children graduation, which Janaea was there, stamp graduation, as well as the junior achievement event. And all of these kids are our students, and they're going to do amazing things. Saturday morning, I had an opportunity to go and attend the Benches for Babes, which there had to be about 150 people there from the community, businesses, everybody was there participating in building benches. And I just felt that the need for me to go was there because they had come to our meeting and asked us why we were not there. Well, one, we were not invited, so they invited, and I went. Sunday, I also had the opportunity to walk in the Dunbar Easter Parade, which was the first time that the district was ever in that. And I have to, thank Franklin Park. Franklin Park had representation there. They had, some of their administrators were there. They had some of their teachers, their students were there. We had representation from Dunbar High and East Lehigh. And we did run out of candy. We had a lot of candy, but we still ran out of candy. But all in all, it was just fabulous because, and the bus drivers who were with us, they were fabulous. They were blowing the horns, people were waving. And the crowd was really excited that the district was there, and they were thanking us for coming out because they appreciated the fact that we were just there for them, even though we did run out of candy. Next year, we won't do that. But I felt that Sunday was a great day, and thanks, Dr. Carlin, for helping get that together as well. And we just are going to stay out there in the community. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Ms. Patrica?
Mr. Daly, I am going to Collier County tomorrow night to sit on a panel to discuss teacher engagement and advocacy with the teachers union down in Collier County. Just in response to what you said about funding and the lack of funding from the state, this is sort of a kickoff for them, from what I understand, to try to increase teacher involvement in the legislative process. So just heads up on that. I want to talk about Administrative Assistant Day. Susan, that's you. And that's Mary, too. So I made a list of words that come to mind when I think of Mary and Susan. And I'm going to say that Mary is a little bit more motherly than you. So the word motherly will apply to Mary, but not to you. But the rest of the words apply to both of you. You're both very detail-oriented. You're both very organized, knowledgeable. Oh, my goodness, your institutional knowledge perhaps rivals that of Dr. Adkins. In all caps, I have written here, patient. All caps, so patient.
Yeah.
The changes you have to deal with are phenomenal. You sit there as the expert of board docs, and we continue to struggle with it. And every 2 years, you have to deal with new board members. So hats off to you for that. So smart. You're so smart. You're awesome. You're amazing. You are a scheduler extraordinaire. I'll tell you, I put something on my calendar, not something she put on my calendar. I put it on my calendar, and I showed up a week early. I don't know how she does the scheduling thing that she does, but when I try to get involved in it, I screw it up. And finally, you rock. I have absolutely no idea how I would do my job without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for saying that.
And Ms. Giovanelli?
Well, I just want to say that we're going to miss Rob, and I appreciate everything that he's done in his short little tenure with us as a board attorney. And I just wanted to know that personally, that he will be missed. And thanks, Susan.
Thank you. Ms. Fisher?
Okay. Since everybody else was short-winded, I'm going to take some liberties here tonight. So I want to thank Mina for reminding us about celebrating diversity, and I know that in this district, we have an opportunity to do that daily. As we near the end of April, which was Child Abuse Prevention Month, many Lee County citizens joined together in an effort to raise awareness and help to prevent child abuse and neglect, which is a major problem for many of our students. School district personnel are mandated reporters, not only during the month of April, but all year through. Protecting Florida's Children is training offered through our Professional Development Department. Our children today are challenged like never before. Our district has adopted a comprehensive mental health plan. Thank you, Lori Brooks and team, because it's awesome. And we continue to work with partner agencies to support our students. We have a national crisis affecting children along with the families in our community. 46,000 children in Southwest Florida will suffer from a severe mental illness at some point in their lifetime. 1 out of 7 will be affected as early as age 2. Our community resources are severely limited. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for children ages 10 to 24 in our state. Through our Lee Health partners, Kids Minds Matter is launching a movement by aligning mental health providers, local and county agencies, the judiciary, law enforcement, schools, and faith-based organizations. When we support Kids Minds Matter, we help in 3 critical ways: legislative lobbying for systematic change and sustainable funding, which we lack from our state. Developing pathways to more effectively screen and treat patients by improving access to quality care. Our school mental health teams are instrumental in providing referral options for those in need. Education is aimed at providing and improving public awareness and reducing stigma. Please join us in supporting this community's effort as we fully deploy our teams at every school and strengthen partnerships. Along those lines, our School Health Advisory Committee, which is made up of many community agencies, members, is preparing a letter of recommendation to us regarding our comprehensive health education. That's a state requirement for all students K to 12. On July 25th, 2017, the Lee County, Florida School Board voted unanimously to adopt a comprehensive health education policy, 3.071. This policy was to be implemented at the start of the 2017-2018 school year. Health education builds students' knowledge, skills, and positive attitudes about health. It teaches about physical, mental, emotional, and social health. It motivates students to improve and maintain their own health and reduce risky behaviors. Studies show that reading and math scores of 3rd and 4th grade students who received comprehensive health education were significantly higher than those who did not. In general, healthy students learn better. They have better attendance, grades, and test scores. We now advocate that all Lee County schools follow the comprehensive health education policy and are faithfully implementing and teaching the comprehensive health education curriculum. Update on Insurance Task Force. The 2018-2019 financials, Aon Vice President reported that there is a 1.2% increase in premium amounts and that the surplus figure went from $515,978 negative to $1,384,107 positive. They also reviewed recent legislative updates and reported that most will not affect Lee County. Aetna reported that this district is in good shape and moving in the right direction by focusing on wellness programs for employees, thus trying to avoid larger medical costs in the future. Heather Parker, our wellness coordinator, gave update on the full Plate Diet Pilot Program, the Outbreak Walking Challenge, which has been highly effective, and the Healthy Wage Program, where 182 participants have lost over 2,000 pounds. That's a whole ton, people. And the winning team is going to win $10,000. They're also working on new programs to include ways to increase colonoscopy screenings and to improve health care for employees who have autoimmune diseases. I had the absolute privilege of attending the Alliance of Arts 2 different times to look at the display of our students' artwork. Simply phenomenal. The turnout was great. It brought the community together and really, really emphasized, as we heard tonight, the need for us to continue to support the arts in our schools. I also went to the teacher recruitment fair on Saturday, the 13th, and it was well organized, a super attendance, and most schools reported hiring to fill their vacancies early in the day. I want to thank some of our Student Advisory Committee members, Will Holderfield, Reese Hall, and Jesus Rodriguez, for participating in the Code of Conduct revisions and updates, which they provided a necessary perspective and even gave us legal information that we weren't aware of. And I want to thank Dr. Bohatch and Chuck Bradley for doing that. I want to thank Elizabeth for being with us tonight and being an amazing member of our student advisory team. Susan and Mary, I am not going to top Chris's comments, but she's right. We really couldn't do it without you guys. And Rob, I'm picturing you now laying on the beach in your flowered bathing suit, relaxing.
Picture that, please.
Relaxing and having fun. But in all seriousness, Godspeed, health, happiness, and new adventures. And thank you for what you've done for us the past 14 years. We appreciate that. And I think, and I know you probably have a honey-do list. Yeah. And I want to thank again, once again, thank our staff for all their hard work and for keeping this district a world-class school system. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Vaughn?
Well, I want to piggyback on some of the comments that Mrs. Fisher just made. I am now the school board liaison to the SHAC committee, that's the School Health Advisory Committee. However, I definitely wanted Ms. Fisher to be talking about many of the things that she mentioned, because this has been her thing. Is that a good for many years? She has been the advocate for health education and awareness of difficulties that students have. And I have to say that I share her passion for this. Couple things that I wanted to mention. First of all, we have mentioned in the past, and it may have been at a briefing meeting, about making sure that we go ahead and initiate the comprehensive health education that the board voted on a couple years ago. And of course, one of the issues is that we just don't have enough certified health professionals to teach the course. And there are some other ways that we can address those standards. However, it seems like, unfortunately, that many times the idea of test prep trumps the idea of healthy kids in our schools. So I think it's appropriate that coming up we have National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. One of the presentations that we had at the SHAC meeting a couple months ago informed us that anxiety is an epidemic among our children. And, you know, this used to be, the doctor who was presenting this said, oh, it used to be that we only thought of adults as being anxiety-ridden, but more and more our children are suffering from this. And so when you think about comprehensive health education, you have to remember that it's not, you know, like somebody having a pyramid with the food groups. Of course, nutrition is important, but it covers mental health. It covers safety. It covers, yes, it does cover sexuality, education, and so many other things, just healthy habits. And we do this so well in our early childhood education programs, where the kids learn about washing their hands and brushing their teeth. They learn how to do breathing exercises to learn how to control themselves, something that sometimes we adults could prosper from, I think. But they learn how to do that so that hopefully by the time they get to kindergarten, they're not like a 2-year-old having a tantrum. And that's all just very, very important. But somewhere along the line, I think we're missing the boat. And as Ms. Fisher said, the people, the medical health professionals and all the other people that are a part of this committee feel the same way. And again, we look forward to reading what they have to say, and they'll be sending these messages to the board. Finally, on that subject, what I would like to say is, although the School Health Advisory Committee is not, it's state mandated, it is not a, quote, board advisory, I think that we might, as a board, want to think about this at a workshop down the road, to offer them the opportunity at least a couple times a year to come and do presentations here, because I know that I have found a wealth of important information, things that help me as, well, just as a person, as a grandmother, and as a school board member, to understand some of the real issues that our children are dealing with, things that, you know, some of us who are grandparents and some of us who still have children in the home, when we were children, we didn't have these things to deal with. And so I'm hopeful that we can do that in the future. And finally, on a different topic, I'm very glad that we came to a resolution of the TALC agreement and that we passed that tonight. But I also want to say that, yes, absolutely, salary and benefits are extremely, extremely important, because it's terrible when our teachers have to work a second or even third job. But I do want to say that I hope moving forward, all the administrators out there recognize how important it is to accord professional respect to our teachers, to understand they are a profession. And I know when I was teaching, I was under tenure. I had a contract, and I had to do something pretty awful to be let go. And no, I was never let go. But we have to keep that in mind, that a lot of our teachers, and over these past several school board meetings, we did have a lot of teachers coming to the podium and telling us about how difficult it is for them and the struggle that they've had to have. So professional respect. And the other thing I continue to advocate for is I'm hopeful that all the principals will see the value of having school-based decision-making, real school-based decision-making for our professional teachers. I was so happy this afternoon when we had the update on the math curriculum, and it was brought to the board how so many teachers were involved in making decisions, critical decisions about the curriculum. That's what we need to see at all times, that the teachers are given meaningful input, that they never feel bullied, and that even though most teachers now are on the year-to-year contract, that they never feel frightened of coming here in front of the board and telling us about what is challenging for them. So that's it for my comments for this evening.
Thank you. And our student representative, Elizabeth Ortiz.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to start off by commending all of the amazing talent that I saw from the drama departments in Lee County, and I think that really goes to show how important the arts are to our community. Also, I wanted to say that I was very glad to see the public and our youth participate in these school board meetings, because that is truly what moves democracy forward and allows for the school board to find efficient solutions to the problems the community is having. I also wanted to thank Ms. Fisher and Ms. Lori Brooks for all of the work that they've done for the Youth Advisory Committee that participates with the school board. Earlier, they mentioned that I was helping the Lee County Library Systems begin Girls Who Code in our area, and I think that it's really important that our students have options in technology, just because it's a field that is increasing so much and so many job opportunities are growing from it. And if it hadn't been for the two of them, then that would not have been possible. And ultimately, I wanted to say thank you to the Lee County School District for the opportunity to participate in this meeting. So, thank you.
Thank you. We were glad to have you. Susan and Mary, I just want to tell the rest of you, if you're not nice to Susan, you will be busy from sunup to sundown, because she will make your schedule quite nicely. So that's our private joke. You ask for a day, she says Saturday's good. But anyway, thank you so much. And Jen, thank you for all of your help as well. Take stock in children. I mentioned that we went to the graduation. That was wonderful. And just to see so many of our young students. And I don't think I mentioned that Janae is only 16 and she's graduating and has her scholarship and college chosen and everything already. DAC advisory, we had a great presentation on vaping and a lot of good conversation afterwards. I attended Junior Achievement with Ms. Jordan and Ms. Morgan. And my special guest was Emery Cavan. He was our photographer out here earlier. And he said that he really had a good time seeing what's happening in Junior Achievement and meeting people and having dinner with us all. I attended Hispanic Home Buyers Fair in Lehigh, and it was packed. There were a lot of people there. They talked about finances and buying homes and education and all of that in conjunction too with Goodwill, and I'll have more to say about that later. I too participated in the Dunbar Easter Parade, and I want to thank the Dunbar Festival Committee for asking me to be the co-parade marshal, along with a young man. I can't remember his first name right now, but he's going to Morehouse, and he has a scholarship for golf and baseball. So he is all set. Morehouse man has his shirt, everything. Awesome young man, and I had a wonderful time with him. I had done a little research into the parade, and Evelyn Sams Kennedy was the lady that started the parade. And we have some things in common. She moved here from somewhere else to be a part of this community, and she was also an educator. And so it was really a good day, and there were a lot of people out there. We ran out of candy, too, before we rounded the corner, so you have to have a lot of candy. I just want to say something. In our strategic plan, one of the items is continuous improvement. That means movement and change. And I hope that we, as a board, will embrace continuous improvement as our way of work. And I want to thank the staff and Dr. Atkins for helping us continuously improve our way of work with the different things that we're working on. And, ready? And finally, when you look up attorney, the definition is an advisor, a representative, an agent, an advocate, a counselor, a defender, and I'm probably going to cry before you, and a friend. We just hope as we move forward in this journey that we have as board members, that we will have someone as understanding, as kind, and as helpful as Mr. Dodick. And this is his last meeting, so we can stand and give him an ovation, please. And we stole some pictures from, you can tell us what it was. You were given an award when you went
Yeah,
home.
2 weeks ago, I was inducted into my hometown Sports Hall of Fame. So unfortunately, you have to be 50 to get inducted. So that was the bad part. But it was a great weekend, and wait till I find out who gave you those pictures.
We'll never tell. Okay. So I know, is there anything that you would like to say?
I'll just briefly say that, well, I leave here knowing, and this is what's important, that I assisted, helped, and touched the lives of many people. And what else can one ask for? And so I wish you the best of luck, and thank all of you. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Atkins.
Just a couple items. The recruitment fair was brought up as this evening. Just wanted to let you know we had 114, I think, recruits that were picked up, which was more than last year. So credit to Dr. Pruitt. 155? Okay. All right. More than last year. So that's very positive news from our HR team, and I'd like to thank them for a lot of hard work, and also our principals, our assistant principals, and our school teams who also assisted greatly there. So my hat's off to them. Tentative agreement is, I'm happy that was supported this evening. I think that does mark a long journey, and it continues to be a journey, but it's a significant milestone in that journey toward better compensation for teachers. I've come to realize that I don't think it will ever be understood the massive effort that went into that contract early on, starting in August. That went on behind the scenes, but it was all about, from that point forward, about trying to do something to put more dollars into our teachers, and so I'm still very proud of that work. Unfortunately, the funding continues to be an issue, and I hope that this profession can work together collaboratively to continue to work on that issue as a state. I want to say that our two students, Ms. Hawkins and Ms. Ortiz, again, students just amaze me with how articulate they are and how they raise very relevant and pertinent issues. And so it's wonderful to see them both at microphones speaking on behalf of students for our district, because that's why we're all here. But so thank you. I know that coming in to this forum and speaking is difficult for most, and yet they have more poise than just about everyone. So so thank you to both of you. And finally, to Mr. Dodig, I really appreciate, Madam Chair, and other board members, the kind words from Mr. Dodig. I would have to echo that. One of the reasons that we hired Rob all those years ago was because I recognized in Mr. Dodig I thought, here's somebody that our principals, our assistant principals, our staff can really relate to when they're in time of need. You want somebody that, when you're at a building and you've got a major crisis on your hands and you need legal assistance, it is very, very comforting to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody who really cares about your situation and works to give you the best advice that he possibly can provide. And that's what we have always found with Mr. Dodig. In fact, just this evening, when an administrator learned of his resignation and departure from the school district, he said that he greatly appreciated over the years the many times that he could always reach out and count on Mr. Dodig to walk him through a difficult situation to find a good answer. And that's really, that relationship part is something that I think is hard to come by. And we really didn't see that in any other applicant for the position. I think that has come through year in and year out. So, I wish you the very, very best, but you have, I can guarantee you, touched many, 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 many lives in a positive way. And so this district thanks you. Thank you. And that's all for my comments this evening.
Thank you. Our next scheduled meetings of the board are on Friday, May the 3rd. There'll be a board workshop at 9 a.m. On Tuesday, May the 7th, there will be a board briefing meeting at 2, as well as a regular, excuse me, I tried to catch it. Thank you. A regular board meeting at 6 p.m. At this point, having no other business to come before the body, I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Before I do, we will retire to Plus and Deltas in the back room. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Ms. Fisher and Ms. Giovanelli, please record your vote. It's, okay. It's not up here. It's not showing? No, not yet. I saw a blink. It may be coming.
Here. Oh, there's that.
No, the answer came up, but with that, somebody's doing something. Yes. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I did.
It's on a delay. It says yay on all of them, so.
I voted against adjournment in hopes that we could stay here longer.
With that, we are adjourned. Motion passed.
That was close.
6-1.